Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a part 1 topic, outer space and stars. As usual, we have two sets of responses, Joseph and Blondie, so you can see different ways to handle the questions. Pay attention to how they use language, organise their ideas and speak fluently. Let's start with Joseph.
Do you enjoy looking at the stars at night?
Yeah, I do. It's really calming after a long day, and it reminds me how small my problems are. I don't do it every night, but whenever the sky is clear, I like taking a moment to look up.
Have you ever learned anything about outer space or stars?
A bit, I picked up some basic astronomy from school and from random videos online. I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I understand enough to appreciate how incredible space is.
Do you like reading or watching videos about space?
Yes, especially short documentaries or YouTube explainers. They're easy to follow and make complicated ideas feel simple. I rarely read long articles, though, unless the topic really grabs me.
Are you interested in films about outer space and the universe?
Definitely. Movies like Interstellar and The Martian really stuck with me. I like how they mix science with storytelling. It makes space feel both mysterious and familiar.
Do you want to know more about space and different planets?
For sure, space is huge, and every time I learn something new, it just raises more questions. I find that pretty exciting.
Can you see many stars in the sky where you live?
Not really. I live in a city, so there's a lot of light pollution. On most nights, I can only see a few bright stars. When I travel to the countryside, though, the sky looks completely different.
Would you like to travel to outer space in the future?
Honestly, yes, if it becomes safe and affordable. Right now, it feels a bit risky, but the idea of seeing Earth from above sounds amazing.
Do you think space exploration is important for humans?
Absolutely. It pushes technology forward and helps us understand how our planet works. Even if the benefits aren't immediate, I think it's important for the long-term future of humanity.
What would you do if you had the chance to go into space?
I'd probably just spend as much time as possible looking out the window. I'd want to see the Earth, the stars, and the darkness of space. I think that view alone would be life-changing.
Do you believe people will live in space someday?
I think it's possible, but not anytime soon. Maybe in the distant future, once the technology is safer and more sustainable. For now, I think Earth will remain our main home.
That was a strong set of responses from Joseph. His answers show how to handle part 1 questions with confidence and clarity. From the start, when he says that looking at the stars reminds me how small my problems are, he expresses a personal thought in a way that's easy to understand. That's exactly what part 1 is testing, your ability to convey your own ideas fluently. Notice his sentence structure. He mixes short, direct statements with slightly longer explanations. For example, he says he doesn't look at the stars every night, but when the sky's clear, he likes to take a moment to look up. This gives his answers depth without sounding forced or rehearsed. Look at his vocabulary. Words like light pollution, mysterious, and life-changing come naturally in his speech. He's not using overly complicated words just to impress. Instead, he's choosing language that fits the topic and his personal experience. Pay attention to his grammar, especially how he uses a conditional structure in his answer. When asked if he would like to travel to space, he replies, yes, if it becomes safe and affordable. This is a clear and natural way to express a hypothetical situation. Overall, Joseph's responses highlight what examiners are looking for in part 1. Fluent, clear, and structured language that communicates personal ideas naturally. Even with a topic like space and stars, which is more imaginative than everyday topics, he keeps his answers grounded, expressive, and entirely conversational. Now that we've seen how Joseph handles these questions, let's hear a very different approach from Blondie. Her style shows that even if you're less interested in a topic, you can still give clear, fluent, and natural answers in part 1. Do you enjoy looking at the stars at night?
Not particularly, to be honest. I live in the city, so all I usually see is a few bright dots and the moon. If I were somewhere really dark, like the desert, I might enjoy it more, but right now, it's not something I pay much attention to.
Have you ever learned anything about outer space or stars?
Just the basics, what everyone learns in high school. You know, that the sun is a star and there are planets orbiting it. I know names like Mars and Jupiter, but I couldn't tell you the difference between a galaxy and a nebula. It all feels pretty unfamiliar to me.
Do you like reading or watching videos about space?
Not really. When I watch videos online, I stick to things that are more relevant to my daily life, like cooking or fashion. Anything about space usually has too much complicated language, so I tend to tune out quickly because I don't understand the jargon.
Are you interested in films about outer space and the universe?
I can enjoy them if they're dramatic and focus more on the characters than the science. I like good stories and cool effects, but if a film gets too technical about physics or orbital mechanics, I usually get confused and lose interest.
Do you want to know more about space and different planets?
Not really, no. My focus right now is on my career and hobbies here on Earth. Space feels a bit abstract and overwhelming. I'm happy to let the scientists figure that stuff out.
Can you see many stars in the sky where you live?
Definitely not. I live in a very bright city, so there's too much light from buildings and street lamps. On a clear night, I might spot a few of the big ones, but I've never seen anything like the Milky Way.
Would you like to travel to outer space in the future?
Oh my gosh, absolutely not. The whole idea sounds terrifying. I've seen videos of rockets launching and those tiny capsules they sit in. It just looks far too risky and uncomfortable. I prefer to keep both feet firmly on the ground.
Do you think space exploration is important for humans?
I'm kind of on the fence. It costs a lot of money, and sometimes I wonder if we should fix problems like climate change first. But I get that satellites are useful for phones and weather, so I understand the practical side even if I don't follow the research.
What would you do if you had the chance to go into space?
If I was somehow forced to go, I'd probably just stare out the window the whole time. Since I don't know anything about the science, I just want to see the view and take a lot of photos to prove I was actually there. Then I'd want to come home immediately.
Do you believe people will live in space someday?
It seems kind of far-fetched. It's a fun idea for science fiction, but I can't imagine building a place in space where people can live normally, breathe and grow food. Maybe people will visit other planets, but living there full-time feels like a huge fantasy.
Blondie's answers show another strong way to approach Part 1 questions, even when she's not very interested in the topic. She's honest about her lack of knowledge, but she still gives complete, clear responses, exactly what examiners love to hear. Notice her vocabulary. Phrases like, I tend to tune out quickly and I prefer to keep both feet firmly on the ground are natural, idiomatic expressions that make her speech sound fluent and native-like. She doesn't overcomplicate her language, but she uses precise words that convey her feelings clearly. Look at her coherence. Even when she doesn't know much about space, she explains her ideas logically. For example, she describes space travel as terrifying and far-fetched, while giving reasons why she feels that way. Each answer has a clear point, supported by a short explanation. Just the kind of structured, conversational response Part 1 requires. Her fluency is smooth, and she avoids long pauses. She manages to organise her thoughts in real time, demonstrating that you don't need expert knowledge to perform well. And that wraps up today's lesson. Joseph and Blondie showed two different approaches to the same topic, and both worked well. Part 1 is about fluency, coherence, clear grammar, and natural vocabulary. Not expertise. Thanks for watching. Keep practicing, stay confident, and speak clearly. See you in the next video.